guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received in my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head on over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, I saw that most of you thoroughly enjoyed my video on fantasy romance books with the best spice, or the best fantasy romance books with spice. I was so excited to film that video. It literally made my heart so happy because I have got to say, fantasy romance books with spice are the best books around. And now, taking a slight detour, I had someone leave me a gorgeous comment in my video last week. Here is insert commenting here, which basically said, do you have any book recommendations for adult fantasy books without spice? Now, as some of you might be thinking, Olivia, this goes against everything we know about you. This goes against every fiber of our being, fiber of the will. It goes against everything that you are as a person.
Be who you are.
Fantasy romance is in your blood. It like sings throughout your veins. Yes, okay? I am a fantasy romance person, and fantasy books with spice are my life source. I just,
Stay.
very much, okay? Like I eat them up faster than I eat up anything. But not every fantasy book or fantasy romance book has to be a book that has spice to be an amazing books. And I was surprised. I was like, okay, I'm going to go through my library and I'm going to see what I have to recommend to the masses, to the people for fantasy books without spice. And as I was searching through, I was like, wait a minute. I found quite a few books that I was like, these are all amazing books. These are all like 5-star reads and they don't have spice in them. There might be like a closed door scene here and there, or like it's a fade to black, like they're going to get into it, but then you don't get to see it. And they're all books that I like would recommend within an inch of my life, absolutely thoroughly enjoyed, and have changed my life. Like truly, most of these books in here that I'm going to be recommending for you today are books that I die for, would die for, absolutely love, am totally obsessed with. And so it got me thinking, I'm like, listen, as much as I love to be the preacher of smut all the way, woo woo, of orc smut and fae smut and cowboy smut and firefighter smut as of recently.
Stop, you're scaring me. You're scaring me.
Listen, it's what I love. It's what I love to read. But I also do think that there are some incredible, captivating fantasy romances or even just fantasy books with incredible like plot and characters and building, but without any spice, or like very, very, very minimal spice. You get just like a little taste, a little glimpse. And so these are the books I'm going to be recommending for you guys today. But before we get into that really fast, I want to go over what I just finished reading versus what I'm currently reading. Guys, you're going to be so proud of me. The curse is broken. I finally read a fantasy book.
Thank you all. Your love has broken the curse and freed my soul.
The first thing that I finished reading was I had to, of course, finish the Sky Ridge Hot Shot series that I've been going over. I finished Honor, which was the third and final book in the Sky Ridge Hot Shot series. Holy frick. This one? Oh my gosh. Okay, so all of the men so far in the Sky Ridge Hot Shots, like I've been obsessed with them. Like there's just been so much like great plot, and I feel like the guys, like I really like got to know them. I love their partners and these women that we're meeting and stuff like that. Yeah, this one takes grief and like loss to a whole other level. It's unfreaking real. And like, I cannot get over how much I am in love with the main male protagonist, Xander. Oh my gosh, like DILF of all DILFs. The man cannot be stopped. Like, exceedingly, extremely, without a doubt, my type. Like the way that he acts, my type. Like, oh my gosh, he's dating this like single mom with 3 kids, and I cannot get over how sweet he is. Like, she's got a brand new baby. She's got 2 other kids that she's like worried about. And he just will like take that baby from her and he's like, I got it, mama. Like, you take a seat. I'm like, ah! You got it, mama. He calls her mama. And I'm like, listen. That, like.
Hi, how are you? Nope.
He said, let me take it from here, mama. Like, I got it, mama. And I'm like, oh, like that is. I'm like, we're purring, like she's purring, like, ooh. Like, that is too much for me. Like, it's so good. Like, He's everything. I'm obsessed. And this one actually made me tear up a bit. Like, I did get quite emotional because this is a book all about grief. There's a lot of grief and like loss in this book. And then a lot of like overcoming and a lot of like, oh my gosh, just I love Xander. I love the relationship. It was everything. 5 stars. It's my 5-star of the series. Because I think I gave the first one a 4. I gave the second one a 4.5. This one I'm giving a 5. Like, I liked it that much. I know it's silly. I know it's stupid. And it's smut-tastic, but I absolutely loved it. So I had to finish this one. And then, speaking of smut-tastic, I read Riding the High by Paisley Hope. Riding the High. So this one is about resident Cole Ashby, which is, in the first book we had Cece Ashby. So this is her older brother Cole. So she has 2 older brothers. She's Wyatt, who's the oldest, which we read in Training the Heart. And then this is Cole, their younger brother. He's a sheriff in town in the Silver Pines area. So he's a sheriff in town, and Cece's best friend Ginger, Danforth, and Cole have been like really good friends for a long time, like for years, but they've never acted on anything as if like they don't want to ruin the friendship. And then of course like Cole's a little bit of a man whore, and like he was sleeping around a ton, and Ginger's like, I don't date like F-boys and whatever. But one crazy night in Las Vegas for Cece and Nash's engagement party, Cole and Ginger get accidentally married on a drunk wild night, and they have to stay secretly married to like uphold Ginger's family's like reputation, and so that Cole can get the promotion as sheriff in their small town. And Cole's also a single dad. So again, much more of the single dad vibe. Like Cole's a single dad, Ginger's this like beautiful wild girl, and these two like, oh, they hit it off. And the tension. The tension. I cannot. It is so good. And it is smut-tastic. As I said for the other one, this one was so fun to read and very like it was so good. It's so silly and like amazing. And I love an arranged marriage and like an accidental marriage and a forced proximity. And then I love like the single dadness of it all. Like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. It's so hot. It's so hot. And so I seriously, like, I loved this one. If you want to give the Silver Pine series a try, I absolutely recommend it. And this one was so good. I think 4.5 stars for this one. And then finally, I read Powerful, guys. I know, I've been saying for months now, I'm like, hey, I need to read Fearless and I need to read Powerful. Like, it's taking me forever. It's taking me ages to finally read another fantasy book. So this is the novella between, technically this is supposed to go between Powerless and Reckless, but I read Powerless, Reckless, and then I read this one. So this is Powerful. This is a novella about Peyton's best friend Adina and this other boy named Mikado. And essentially they're like, they create a bargain together. Like he essentially enlists her help so that he can sneak into the castle. He needs clothing from her. She's a seamstress, and they end up falling in love. And this was devastating. Like, I'm so mad. I literally finished this and I was like, I'm so mad that I read this. Like, because it was so unbelievably devastating. Like, it broke my heart. Like, I cried. I really wasn't expecting to cry because I was just kind of like, oh, it's like legitimately a 200-page novella. Like, this is not even a big deal. Like, whatever, who cares? And then I cried at the very end, and I was like embarrassed that I cried because I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what the heck? Like, I'm like, what the heck? 200 pages of just like, you know what's gonna happen. You literally know what's gonna happen, and yet you can't stop. It's like watching a car crash. You're just like, I can't look away, but I want to close my eyes. And this was what that book was. So this book was fabulous. It ruined my life. I gave it 3.5, 4 stars. Like, it was cute, but nothing crazy. And then finally, it's taken me too freaking long. I am currently reading Fearless. Thank freaking goodness, it is taking me way too long. Just started it last night. I'm like almost 100 pages in so far. And so far, I am loving it. I'm a little bit intrigued. I'm a little bit scared. I'm so excited to see how the series wraps up. Because everyone said that, like, because of how much of a train wreck Reckless was, the second book, this one more than makes up for it. Like, this one completes the whole series in a perfect way. And right now, I am living for Kai and Peyton. Like, they are my everything. I just want them to be together forever and to be so happy. And if they don't, I'm going to kill someone. So, that is what I'm currently reading. So, thank you for joining me on my segment of what I just finished reading versus what I'm currently reading. Now, we've spent enough time going over what I just finished reading, so let's talk about today's video. Again, like I mentioned, this is going to be very minimal spice or no spice at all. These are all going to be adult fantasy recommendations for you, and I hope you'll give every single one of these a chance and go and check them out. These all have my like full stamp of approval. Like, these are all fantastic books written by amazing authors who legitimately like have done some amazing work. And listen, even though they don't have any spice in them, they more than make up for it in the content that they're bringing to the table. So let's get started. Really fast, I'm just going to get this one quickly out of the way because I've been talking about this series so much recently, and that is V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. The Darker Shade of Magic trilogy is one of the single greatest trilogies in the entire world. I would put this in the top 5 best fantasy trilogies ever written. Like legitimately ever written, ever. Top 5 best fantasy trilogies ever written, okay? If you are someone who enjoys like incredible world building and amazing characters that you cannot help but like absolutely love, this book series is for you. I will say that Darker Shade of Magic series has like, you don't get any of the quote unquote like spice until book 3. And even then it's very brief. It's very short. It's like a quick once off. You see a couple of moments, but really like it's hardly anything at all. And it's very, very brief between 2 different couples in this series. So, to give you a quick plot summary, essentially A Darker Shade of Magic is about a young mage named Kel who essentially has the ability to transport himself between the 4 different Londons. So there's 4 different like dimensions of Londons, but they all are like more medieval magically based. There's Red London, which is where he lives, Grey London, White London, and Black London. And he can attend each of these Londons and essentially like he can kind of like shift between worlds and make sure that everything's like going okay between the worlds. Well, on one of his trips, he brings back some dark magic into his London, and he seeks the help of a girl from Grey London named Delilah Bard, and essentially is going to come over and help him figure out what's going on with this newfound magic and this new evil that he's accidentally brought into his kingdom. So, again, absolutely obsessed with the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. Like V.E. Schwab, as I've ranted and raved out before, is in my pantheon of greatest authors ever. Like she's just legitimately the most talented author of all time. I will absolutely read anything that this woman writes. And this series is no exception. It is absolutely fantastic. And just like has like a pinch of spice. Like legitimately at the very, very end, very brief. But regardless, this book series is phenomenal. Absolutely life-changing. One of the best fantasy trilogies ever. Now, I know what everyone's going to say and everyone's going to get mad at me in the comments, but listen, just like hold your horses before y'all start screaming at me. I want to recommend Rebecca Ross's Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Now, I know everyone's going to be like, that's not adult, that's YA, it's not adult. Okay, I know.
I got it. I got the concept.
I know technically this belongs in the YA section. I know technically it is not an adult, it's technically not adult fantasy. However, I do think that the writing is clear enough and beautiful enough and at an advanced level enough that I would recommend it to adults. Like, I really would. Like, I read this book as an adult and did not feel like I was reading a YA fantasy, okay? Like, I read this book literally last year and I am 26 years old, okay? Like, I'm an adult woman, okay? I'm grown.
I'm a big kid now.
So, I did not feel like this book was dumbed down at all. Yes, technically it belongs in the YA category, but it does not read like a YA book at all, which is why I'm putting it in this video. Don't buy my head off. I know it's YA, but regardless, I think the content is more than worth its salt because legitimately like this is a phenomenal duology. Absolutely brilliant. Divine Rivals, to give you a quick plot summary. Obviously, if you haven't read Divine Rivals, where have you been? Under a rock? Rebecca Ross is making waves with this book. Essentially, it is a fantasy book that takes place in a fantasy world, but it almost has like 1940s like steampunk vibes a little bit. So we have a young journalist named Iris Winnow who works at a publishing house, and her longtime rival Roman Kitt, who also works there as well. And essentially they're writing about the war front and what's going on in the war. Well, her brother gets drafted into the war and she decides to take matters into her own hands and to go to the war front of this horrible war that's happening and essentially write about what's going on there. And essentially she starts a correspondence with her rival without knowing that it's her rival, and he essentially has to go after her. So this is like a wartime novel. It's gritty. It's beautiful. The romance in this is unreal. You get a sprinky sprink in the first book and a sprinky sprink in the second book of 2 romance scenes again, but they are very much like fade to black, curtains closed. We are not seeing any of the action.
Okay. Are you kidding? That's unfair. She made those. I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
So again, no spice or very, 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 very minimal. Like not even like 1 chili pepper. Like I'd say like a bite off the chili pepper. Like just one little smack roll. So This is just a tiny little taste with a little bit of romance, but again, an absolutely beautiful duology that I would recommend to anyone who wants to read a fantastic book. These are fantastic. Keeping on with the Rebecca Ross train, because she's just my absolute favorite author in the entire world, we have one of my favorite duologies, A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless. This is absolutely one of my most favorite duologies ever. I talk about this duology all the time because I just think it's absolutely so well written. Essentially, we have the island of Cadence, and the island is split into two. There are two sides. It's very much like Scottish Rivals, very much like Band of Warriors vibes, thinking about that. So essentially on one side of the clan, their girls in the village are going missing and they think it's the rival side. So a young man named Jack Tamerlane, who left his island 10 years ago to go study on the mainland, receives a letter from his clan chief to come back home because the girls are going missing and he needs his help. So Jack comes home to find this happening, and he finds out that it was not written by the chief clan leader at all, but it was written by his rival slash long lost love, Adira. And Adira is writing to him to be like, Jack, we need your help. I need your help figuring out what's going on. So one reason why I absolutely love this duology is that it's actually written into like 4 different like POVs in a way. There's Jack and Adira, and then there's another couple, which is Torn and Cedra. And I love that you get to see this like very roundabout version of seeing like what the island life is like, what's it like living on this magical, like mystical, like very whimsical, like island. And I just like absolutely love both of the couples. I will say that this one, like you do get like Sprinky Sprink of like bits of romance. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like heavy spice. You are seeing a little bit more than a closed door scene though. You're seeing like a little bit more, but again, it's not enough that I would consider either of these this duology a spicy book at all in any way, shape, or form. And very much like the romance scenes are very much like they're very passionate, and it's very like about like love and connection, and a little bit less of like the romp and the good time, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
So I feel like those ones, it's a little bit more than I would say. I say it's like half the chili pepper, not a full chili pepper. Like we're getting like half a bite, not even like a full bite. But you're seeing more than a closed door scene. So if that's a turn off for you, then you're not going to love this. But I legitimately cannot recommend this one enough. It's whimsical, it's folkloric, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's poetic, and it's literally one of my favorite duologies of all time. Next, we have a very fun and scary like 1920s like vampire story. We have Scythe and Pen by A.C. Hobbs. I absolutely loved this book last year. If you are looking for something that's like slightly murder mystery with like a 1920s like swankified vampire vibe, this is going to be the one for you. In this world, we have vampires and humans and other mythical creatures all live together, but it's very much like 1920s, very proper. And in this world, the vampires are the like minority. They are the ones being like targeted, and like threats are being made against them because they're like, they feel like they're the dangerous population. And so on the day when they're supposed to pass a bill that grants vampires and humans like equal rights to one another, a murder happens to a human person, and so the vampires are up at risk. We have Demetrius Rask, who is like he's assistant to his father, who's a senator, and essentially he enlists the help of a man named Hades Cronus, who essentially is like a gangster and a mobster and someone not to be trusted, but he needs his help figuring out who created this murder and created this rift so that vampires wouldn't get full and equal rights. This is going to be a series. This first book is very grim, very dark, very gritty. It seems like there's the start of a blossoming romance in this one between a couple of different characters, and so I'm very interested and intrigued to see where it goes. Obviously, nothing happened in this book. Legitimately, like not even a closed door scene, at least as far as I can remember. Like legitimately, nothing happened. Like legitimately, like the romance is there. It's starting to come up, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next book if we definitely get more of that romance element, which I really, really hope so. But as of right now, this book is a no spice here, but a very, very fun read and a very cool murder mystery vibe. The last and final book I want to recommend for you guys today is one of my favorite reads from last year. We have The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. The Vampires of El Norte. Now, this is going to be an 1800s vampire slash like historical fiction. We have Nina, a young woman who lives on a ranch in the 1800s, and her ranch is essentially being taken over by Anglo settlers, but that's not the only thing that they've brought with them. They've brought vampires, and essentially these vampires are wreaking havoc on her village. She essentially finds a way to escape, and she meets up with her long lost love, whom she thought was dead, named Nestor. And Nestor and Nina essentially reunite, and it is a beautiful and it is a blessing, and they come together, but they have a lot of animosity towards one another because there's been so many years between them. They didn't know what happened to one another. It's really tragic, and Nestor and Nina have to work together to essentially figure out how to get rid of the Anglo settlers that have come into their properties, but as well as figure out the vampire problem and how to get rid of these horrible creatures of the night. I love The Vampires of El Norte. It is extremely gothic and extremely moving. It tells a lot about history for the early settlers in the 1800s, which I absolutely love. And of course, a darling romance with there's one romance scene, but again, it's like a closed door. You don't get to see anything. Very much like shut the curtain. It's not for you.
Hey, buddy! Squidward!
So there is a romance element in this, but again, you don't get to see any of the spicy stuff. And it is fabulous. I absolutely love this one. I cannot recommend it enough. A very fun and spooky gothic read, but again, with a really fun twist and a great historical fiction. So I cannot recommend this one enough. I absolutely love it. So that is all the adult fantasy book recommendations with no spice that I want to recommend for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Live in Literature YouTube channel. Guys, literally, we have been seeing so many new people here recently. It has made my heart so happy. Welcome to all the new subscribers. And if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you're one of my old subscribers, thank you so much for joining me here again. If there's anything you guys want me to know, please feel free to leave it down below in the comments. If there's any video ideas that you want to see on this channel, please feel free to comment it down below. But I love you guys the most, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.